you to hit the like and share button on YouTube and Facebook. This is the Hot Rod Podcast with Ron Foreman and Brady Wright. We literally live, eat, and breathe cars. Hey, it's Brady Wright. This is the Hot Rod Podcast, episode number 366. And sitting here with me as we speak is none other than Brent Lundquist, the king of all things for the North Idaho Rats and Customs Car Club, and recently returned from Ratstock 2024. Brent and I are going to have a whole half hour or so to run down everything that happened in there. But first, we got to pay the bills. So we're going to come right back. Stick with us. The Rat Bastards Car Club of Idaho loves a good time, and we'd rather build it than buy it. We're a family-oriented, nonprofit car club that welcomes all 1969 and older, in the rough as enough, real steel and iron. We're all about old-school, traditional hot rods and rat rods. We get together, we have fun, we help each other build, and we cruise like crazy because that's the way car clubs are supposed to be. The Rat Bastards of Idaho is a new class of old school. Our signature event is the Infestation Show every July. Check our Facebook page for location, time, and date. We're charter sponsors of the Idaho Hot Rod Hall of Fame and the Hot Rod Podcast. Join us at cruise-ins all over Idaho and eastern Washington. Joining the club is easy. Just contact us through the club Facebook page or contact us at any event. Check us out on the Rat Bastards Car Club pages on Facebook. So, as mentioned prior to those brilliant words, my guest tonight is Brent Lundquist. He and James Roberg, who is the head cheese at Town Hall Customs, just came back from a 3.5-month trip to someplace in Illinois for a gigantic rat rod festival called Ratstock, put on by Rat Rod Magazine. And Jerry Ripley and his wife Tracy did a marvelous job. Jeremiah was there, and it was just a super event. If you've been following Rat Rod Magazine, of course, at all, you know that. If you've been following them on Facebook, you saw some videos. And of course, last week, Brent and I and James did a little shtick while they were on the way. And then let's see, you created a Facebook page for the car that you built called Hood Rat the Boat Tail.
Hood Rat the Boat Tail.
And as we speak, we're running a picture of the car here so people can see exactly what we're talking about. But you guys had a terrific time at the event.
Oh, amazing time. Trip of a lifetime. We went over there. We talked to you last Wednesday?
Last Wednesday.
Yeah. That was night. We just got in town for the night. We were actually in Langley already. Spent Thursday, Friday, Saturday with people. And oh my God, the camaraderie and the way the people treated us there was just, they welcomed us with open arms.
Well, and
just
well, they should.
Amazing time.
It's a pretty amazing community, and people. We talked about this a little bit last week, and but I'm just going to run through it again. Ratstock is an event that Jerry and Tracy created last year, and basically it's an invitational, and it's open to anybody who is capable of building a car. Correct me if I'm wrong here. Building a car from scratch with a budget of $5,000 and getting it.
Yeah, that was the build off. Rat Rod is.
Well, isn't Ratstock that same thing? I mean, you got to budget for the car?
No, Ratstock is wide open. It's the car show, and that's free to everybody, anybody and everybody that wants to come. So the Ratstock build-off was the $5,000 invitational.
Right. And so correct me here. One of the things that I saw on some of the videos that were there were 300 plus cars, I guess, at the event. A few cars didn't make it, but basically you're pretty close to 300 cars. And then there was something about 40 cars that actually entered in for the judging. Is that correct? Because I missed some piece of that. And then they were talking about the top 20 and the top 10.
Okay,
and then,
so
the three guys that won.
Yeah. So the Ratstock, the car show itself, had 400 registered cars for the day. The build-off in February, they cut off the entries at 302. So the build-off was 302 guys throughout the year to get the car ready for there. 40 of us showed up.
Got it.
40 of us made it to the finish line. Uh, and yeah, and then they had the three on that one. So the top 20 that you watched the other day on our live feed
Right.
was the people that weren't in the build off that just showed up for the car show.
Got it.
And oh my
Okay.
God, the cars there were awesome.
I saw, I mean, you can watch that video a dozen times. There were a lot of terrific vehicles there. The one thing I like, you and I have talked about this. The one thing that I like about rat rods, I love cars. I love hot rods. I like, street rods. I like every kind of car that there is. But rat rods kind of have a special place because back in the day, before all of the aftermarket vendors and all of the custom parts manufacturers and everybody, got involved in this thing, when you built a car that was a hot rod, basically you made a lot of the stuff and maybe you didn't use aftermarket parts, maybe you didn't even use, new old stock or whatever else. You sort of made stuff and that let kind
Made
of
it
each
fit.
car be an individual piece. It was like your own art project. And that
Yes.
speaks to me. That's like everything is about personality, and the vehicle just sort of shows up out of your personality and the thing you had in mind for your build. And that's why I liked looking at the at the video from Ratstock because for people who are not car people, you can look at some, mid 30s to mid 40s vehicle and think, "Oh, it looks just like the other one." No, no. Lots of differences. And I was playing the video of the winner. I can't remember his name,
Okay.
but for
Mike
somebody,
Wheeler.
that was it. Yeah. And I play the video, and the guy said, now he's not a car guy, so I'm not, holding him out for this. But he said, "Well, I've seen that car like a dozen times." Okay, I can kind of see where you might think that because there's a certain look, to that sort of thing. But to say that first off, you've never seen that car before, and second, there's no other car exactly like that car. And
Yeah.
if that's more traditional, then, for example, your car was a boat tail. I'm sure it was the only boat tail there.
I wasn't. There was another one
Really? Okay, well, two,
with a 49 International hood on the back.
is that right?
The same one.
But but what are the odds of that? Let's be
Yeah.
real. Um, there's a lot of mid 30s, Fords, Essex, Buicks. I mean, they're out there and people like them because they're handy and they're straight lines and you can do stuff with them. But, there's that guy who's going to make one out of a Packard or, an Australian Chevrolet or something who would do that.
Yep.
And it's stuff that kind of stands up on its own because there's nothing to compare it with.
Yes. And it was amazing. The people there, the cars, like you said, you go look at them, and I don't even know. Well, I was overwhelmed because there's so many cars there, but
Yeah.
I don't even know if you look at the same cars and they have, okay, well, I've seen that one before. Oh, that's the same car. No, just the detail and all this stuff. It might
Yeah.
be the same shape, but there is nothing the same on the cars.
Yeah. Yeah. I love, to be honest with you, I mean, I'm sure that I miss stuff when I'm looking at a car, but things that stand out to me are, okay, what did he do with the chassis? Is it Z'd? Is it boxed? Is it bagged? Is it lowered? Is it extended? Did he make a chassis out of, railroad ties? Who knows? I mean, and you look at it for a while, and then you go back and you go, did I see what I thought I saw? Now I got to go back and look.
Yeah.
Oh, I missed that, and that's the fun of it with them. Taking
Well,
nothing away from
we did
somebody
that
who's
with
got,
a car.
what's that?
Oh, we were doing that with a car. We looked at there was a Model A sedan with a huge chop on it, and
Yeah,
the bomber seats were laid way back. So we went and looked at the
windshield that
car, looked
tall.
at the bomber seats. Yeah, but we were looking at the bomber seats on it and walked away from it. And later on that night, I'm looking at a picture and I'm like, "Did you see that steering setup?" And no, neither one of us noticed the steering setup, and it had a whole gear. He had gears stacked on top of gears for steering setup on the cowl.
Yeah.
Didn't even pay attention to it because I was looking at the seats.
And sometimes it's a smorgasbord of stuff. I mean, there's too much stuff to see, and you
Yeah.
really do have to go back and look two or three times. I cannot tell you how many shows I have judged over the years, different sorts of things, but I don't know whether I'd rather judge a a restoration kind of car show where everything is according to Hoyle and there's, Pebble Beach, rules, or whether I'd rather judge a rat rod show because there's so much you can miss the stuff in the resto cars. You can miss stuff, and then you got
Oh
to go back
yeah.
and look two or three times. But every single rat rod is a different build, and you can miss hundreds of things, and you find yourself doing exactly what you said. You go back and go, "Oh, that I didn't even think to
Yep.
look at that," and there it is.
Well, it was
So
funny. Like we were
you
sitting there
saw.
watching.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, the people that come up and look at my car, they're eyeballing my car, walking around my car, and then they notice my radiator sideways.
Yeah,
Oh, really? Look at that.
yeah.
So just stuff like that.
Now, in one of the videos that you sent, or the week that I picked off of your page, there was a car that kind of looked like a wedge, big flat-sided thing with a sort of a tail on the back of it. Do you remember seeing that one?
So if it's the same one I'm thinking of, that was the trailer of the second place winner.
It went by real fast, and I thought it was a car, but it never showed it again on the video. So I thought,
Yeah.
I'd like to see
So
that. That
the,
looked interesting. So it was the trailer.
it was the trailer. The second place winner was a Triumph,
Yeah.
and he had a trailer that was real close to matching, but it was a nice wedge, and he had toolboxes and everything in it.
Ah,
It was
okay.
his camper.
Was it rusty?
It was rusty. Yeah.
Okay, because I looked at it, I thought, oh, you'd have a trailer that was painted, wouldn't you? No.
It was well, the car was rusty, so it matched the car. Like
Sure,
they were rusted
sure.
together.
Why wouldn't you do that?
Yeah.
So I know you saw like all kinds of stuff, and we could do two or three shows just on talking about the other cars. What were a couple of the cars that really stood out for you? And I know that sometimes guys like to bring like accessories. Like you got your car. Rat Rod Richardson does this. He'll bring the truck and then parked on the truck is a ruckus that he's customized as well, or some silly thing.
Oh,
Was there stuff like that there that stood out to you?
I'm sure there was. I didn't notice it, wasn't paying attention. I looked at I loved Chris Walker's cars, the
Yeah.
ITW, the not mad, and he had the Chrysler there and the whole Camino. So I was looking at those, the workmanship in those, how he had cut everything up and put them together was so cool. And then the flamethrower cars. I didn't get a whole lot of video
Yeah.
of those, but the flamethrower cars were. I was intrigued with those.
They're always fun.
30-foot flames out of the back of the car.
Yeah, and I saw one video where not only were they shooting, massive flames, but they're like gouts of fire going down on the street behind them. Like you wouldn't want to follow that guy, for any distance. Obviously, they don't do that on the street, but what fun!
That's what I was really looking at. I was trying to get all the cars in,
Yeah,
comprehend everything I was seeing, but I was really into the flamethrowers.
yeah. Well, when I bring the truck down to you, my ice cream truck for the exhaust, we're going to put flamethrowers on it just for the sheer fun of it.
Well, they told me they gave the guys were like I said, everybody there was super nice. He
Yeah,
came through and he says, "This is the formula I'm using. This is exactly how I did it," and
yeah.
didn't question me, didn't say anything. So we can do it like theirs.
That's another thing that happens. I think at a lot of car shows, most all shows I've seen, where people have a vehicle. If you show some interest in it, they're going to sit and talk to you about it, for hours and hours and hours if you let them. And the rack rod guys are just like that because first off, you build it for yourself. It's your vision, and it comes out of your head. So if anybody like looks at that and goes, "Oh, well then, okay, you and me, buddy. So we're going to talk about this," and you get a real responsive audience because it's cool stuff. And not everybody's build is for everybody. So when you find somebody that likes your stuff, that's a good deal.
Oh yeah, we had crowds around us all weekend. It
I'm
was
sure.
I definitely had some attention for it.
So this is an off the wall question, but we were there for your fundraiser, the weekend before you left.
Yep.
When did you paint the wheels gold? I didn't remember that they were painted that night.
Oh, they were. Yeah, they've been painted for since I mounted the tires on them.
Weird, because I just didn't notice that. Maybe it was just the fact that it was getting dark. I couldn't tell.
Yeah.
But the picture that one of the good pictures, the three-quarter front, because you can see it, the sun shining on them. It looks really good.
Oh.
So, let's talk about Ratstock for a second. What were some of the events that they had aside from just the show itself?
They had the burn off contest.
Right?
They had a cool little box in there, built out of jersey barriers.
Yeah.
So it was,
Yeah, that's cool. I saw.
the venue there, Psycho Silo Saloon.
Yeah,
It's 3 levels tall, so you can sit above and watch all the cars do their burnouts and everything.
that's
So that
great.
was cool. And then they had the flamethrower contest.
Yeah,
I don't even know if it was a contest or if it was just a show.
showing off. Sure,
Yeah.
nothing wrong with that. Oh
Nope.
yeah,
And
I
then they
got
had
your
their their vendors and stuff, but that wasn't much. It was just a
Yeah.
real fun get together.
So, and now I understand there was a crew. Was there a cruise as well?
So for the build off, we had to do a cruise. We had to cruise from, well, Psycho Silo Saloon is in Langley, Illinois.
Right.
So we had to cruise from Langley, Illinois to Davenport, Iowa to
Oh,
Northern
okay.
Tool.
It's about 30 miles.
By the time we were done, the cruise was short, but we were from the hotel to the silo back to Northern Tools. It was about 70 miles,
Okay.
and that was part of the build off. That was the shakedowner to prove that your car was roadworthy.
Sure. Well, that's fun. Were there
Yeah,
people on the sides? I mean, they knew you were coming, I'm assuming.
because it was I was Highway 6 there, so it was like I guess like Celtice for us.
Okay.
I would say 41, but it was a lot like 41 up north. But you went
Okay.
through all the little towns out there,
So
spots
regional
of towns,
highway.
and people are on the side of the road waving at us, and
Yeah.
yeah, that was cool.
Well, that's fun. That's why you do it, for the
Yep.
adoration.
Oh yeah. Yep. See all the
So,
faces on everybody.
what was there any part of it that Oh, I don't know. I mean, you do events on your own. Well, obviously, we have events here in scenic northern Idaho. Is there anything that happened down there that you said to yourself, we're going to add that to one of our shows up here?
No, it wasn't much different. I mean, I would love to do the flamethrowers just because me being the muffler shop, that would be
Sure.
awesome to do. But I don't think there's enough people here that want. We have a few. But we've had the same half a dozen flamethrowers for 20 years.
Yeah.
So, for the
Well,
guys that actually go in there,
that'd be fun. Well, I think you need to do a slow drags. That'd be fun.
we talked about that most of the time the venues don't want to do it.
And the funny thing about that is, I mean, I've run into that. I've done, I don't know, 10 or 12 of them. And the funny thing about it is once they see it the first time, they go, "Oh, okay, it isn't as horrible as it sounded like, No, it's just fun.
Yep.
It's, 100 feet worth of just silliness. And you're not leaving any big patches of rubber on the parking lot or anything else. I mean, it's really pretty wholesome. And the kids think it's funny. And of course, everybody's out there,
Yeah.
rowing to try to get to the next, mark and everything. It's hilarious. But yeah, I think if I was smart, I would have taken a video of a couple of them so that I could show it to the venue
Oh
and
yeah.
say, look, this is what it is, and I think you get a lot more support if you do it that way. We'll see.
Well, for our Taste of Rathdrum show next year, I am going to try, and we are going to bring power wheel drags.
Okay.
So we're going to see, more for the little kids than the adults for this year. But we're going to do power wheel drags at the car show. And when
Yeah.
I asked the guy that actually puts for the venue, he said, "Well, what is that one?" And I had to show him a video, and he's like, "That is cool."
Okay, we're doing that.
Yep.
Yeah, and stuff like that. I think it's exactly that. Something new. They're like, I don't know, and then you show it to them, and they go, "Okay, I'm in. I'm in. I'm in."
Yep.
A lot of the times, it's there may be some of the venues think there may be some liability going on there. What
Yeah,
could happen
that's
that
what
went
it always
sideways?
is.
Well, you can have waivers and stuff, and you get by all of that. It's all good. So, are you already planning your build for next year?
Well, they're not doing next year. Next year is a tour, so they're doing
Oh,
build
right.
tour, build tour,
Yeah, yeah.
and I'm not sure my my butt can last for the tour. It starts in North Carolina at Village Custom, and then it goes to Ratstock.
That's a long drive.
Yeah.
I mean, first off, it's a long drive to North Carolina to start. That's 3,200 miles.
Week worth of driving.
Yeah.
The tour is a week itself.
Yeah.
Which would be a blast.
But it would be, but boy, from this end of the country, that's a lot. That's about a 3-week deal.
Yeah, and I can't take 3 weeks off.
Well, I don't know. Maybe.
We are planning on going down to Rat City Ruckus in the spring, though.
That'll be great, and that one's coming up.
That is our next one planned, and then we'll go back to SEMA next year. So that'll take my fall vacation.
Lots of things happening. I mean, every year there's something, and there's always a few more events than you have time and heartbeats to do. But you pick and choose the ones you like, just like everybody does.
Oh yeah,
super. Well, you're home. You got a chance to get a little shut eye. You jump back tomorrow and pretend like you've been working all week.
Well, I was at work today.
I know. I saw your car. For those who are watching, Brent works about a mile from where I live, and I drive by his shop on the way to work and on the way home from work. So I'm pretty well, like, if Tabby ever wondered where you were, I could say that. not right that there. She ever wonders, but yeah, it's pretty easy. Well, listen, I appreciate you taking the time. I know you got other things to do and kids to see, but we will definitely have you back on at a future date. And man, Ratstock is in the books, and another one coming up down the line.
Yep, always got more building.
All right, Brent. Hey, thanks a bunch. I appreciate you taking the time.
No problem. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Brady Wright. I'm the founder of the Idaho Hot Rod Hall of Fame, and I got some big news coming up that I think you'll want to know about. Now, if you're a car person and you're in Idaho, especially North Idaho, you probably are aware of the organization, but just in case you're not, what we do is we recognize hot rodders, clubs, and people who support the sport of hot rodding all through the state of Idaho. It is for Idaho people only. Every year we have an awards banquet that recognizes a hot rodder of the year, a young rodder of the year, and a car club of the year throughout the state of Idaho. Now, you probably wonder, how do people get nominated and how do they get the award? Well, the nominations come from you. If you go to our website, that's Idahof, IDAHHOF.org. There is a nomination form there. You can download it, or you can send an email to idahof@gmail.com, and we'll send you one for yourself. And when you send them in, all of the board gets together once a year, usually in the fall, and we decide who's going to get nominated and who's going to get inducted into the Hall of Fame for that year. Now, our banquet is coming up in about 2 months. We're looking to do it in about September, so you have July and August to fill out your nominations and get them into us. It's real important. The nominations are self-explanatory. The form is real clear, and if you fill it out as completely as possible, whoever you nominate or whichever club you nominate has a pretty good chance of getting in. We induct one hot rodder of the year, one young rodder of the year, and one club of the year every year. But you can put your nominations in at any time. If we don't choose the person you've nominated, for example, this year, they may get in next year. Just depends on who else gets nominated. It's idahof@gmail.com or idahof, IDAHHOF.org on the web. We're also on Facebook. If you have questions, you can ask them right there. We look forward to getting your nominations in, but do hurry. We need them by the end of August 2023. Wow, it was great to find out about Ratstock. Learned a couple of things. I hope you guys did too. Brent Lundquist, of course, a personal friend and also a great builder. And it sounded like that the week was pretty impressive for him and James. That's going to do it for this one. Ron Foreman is indisposed tonight, but he'll be back next week. We've got some great shows coming up, and I hope you're here for them. I'm Brady Wright. This has been the Hot Rod Podcast, and we'll see you on the next one. That's it for this episode of the Hot Rod Podcast. Be sure to like and subscribe to our show, and we appreciate it if you smash those notification buttons too, so you'll know when a new one drops. For Ron Foreman, I'm Brady Wright. This has been the Hot Rod Podcast. We'll see you on the next one.